So how do you tell if it's intuition or your mind just making it all up? It can get really confusing. So I'm going to help break it down for you and tell you about 6 different intuitive languages that we have, and we all have one primary. So let's talk about what your primary intuitive sense is, your intuitive language is. And once you know what it is, then you know how to listen to it and navigate life a little bit better. So what is intuition? Well, it's simply just knowing something or understanding something beyond conscious reasoning. You can call it an intuitive sense. You can call it a psychic sense. When we refer to psychic, it's usually just intuition a little bit more on steroids. It's just a little bit more enhanced than your intuition. So we have 7 chakras, and really 6 of them are primarily things that we can say are in a psychic sense. When you are very in tune with one of them, that would be your primary intuitive language, your primary psychic sense. You are in tune with that part of your energy body. So yeah, intuition, knowing if you're being intuitive or if your mind is in the way, that can be very confusing. And that's why I put together a quiz that you can take. If you've never taken my psychic superpower quiz, it's what psychic superpower do you have? And I break it down, and it's actually by the 7 intuitive senses that we have, and everybody's is a little bit different. So yours is likely going to be very different from mine. We have one that's a primary sense, that's our psychic sense, and then we have ones that you have another one that's actually a pretty high one usually, and the next one, and depending on how much ritual and invoking energy you're doing is how vibrant you are. Some people are very naturally intuitive to one sense. Other people have to work at it a little harder. I had to work at mine. And when I did, wow, it opened right up, right? Because of the magic work that I do. But I'm going to go over the 7 psychic senses that you can have, and then you can pick out which one is the most natural for you, or you could take my quiz to figure out which one it is. And then you can actually know when you're being intuitive versus you are just having monkey mind and you're not sure what's going on. You're confused, right? So let's dive right in to the 7 psychic senses. I remember my mom asking me years ago, she was like, well, what does your gut tell you? I was like, what? What does that even mean? Like, I was completely out of tune. I had no idea what my gut was saying ever. And so I had to learn it. And that was so I could teach you, right? So here I am, and I am going to now start with the first one. Each one of these, if you didn't already figure it out or know me, they are tied into the chakra system. So the first one I'm going to talk to you about, it is the one that is tied into your root chakra. So the root chakra is connected to your physical body, right? So if you are intuitive with your physical body, a lot of times you're an energy worker or some type of maybe massage therapist, somebody that's very hands-on. So you'll pick up things from touch, like what we call claircognizance. I don't know if I can pronounce that right, but it's where you touch someone and all of a sudden, like, you'll get information. You'll get a feeling, like, very strong, right? You have a hard time where, like, if you go out, you know that you're going to be around people and it kind of bothers you because you can feel things off people. Maybe if they have bad energy, they're in a bad mood or something like that, and it'll bother you. It can also be where you walk into a room and you feel like the tension in the air, right? You're very sensitive to that. That means you are very intuitive in your physical body. A lot of times, if you are doing massage on somebody and you know intuitively where to go, that means that you are intuitive with your physical body. You could also have the clairs of the senses of, like, smell and taste, where all of a sudden, let's say you're at a funeral and you smell the person, their cologne that they used to wear, right? Or you smell a cigarette when maybe late at night you're thinking of someone that passed on that used to smoke cigarettes and you don't, and all of a sudden you smell cigarettes. Someone that can smell or taste things automatically, it's very natural for them. That would mean that you have this very root chakra based body sensory heightened experience, and that would mean that your intuition primarily comes from that. And so that would be more of just like a physical feeling. And so you would have to really just be naturally inclined to that, and you would know that. You would know that when you touch people, you just kind of pick up energies, and you pick up things, and you would just know that. Okay, that would be very different than somebody that thinks something and then goes, oh wait, I'm thinking this, but is it true? What are you feeling? That's what you have to pay attention to when you have a very intuitive body, when your body is the one that's picking everything up with the clairtendency. I've also heard it called clairtaction, where you can also feel like spirits touch you and stuff. If you've ever felt like a coldness come over you in a room, or you felt spirits touching you, that would be clairtangency. And you can develop this skill with a lot of meditation and chakra work and magic and invoking more light. You can develop any of these senses, but some people are just very naturally inclined to that kind of intuition. So if you are very much a root chakra based person that's very physical and picks things up, you need to pay attention to how you physically are feeling or smelling things and tasting things and stuff like that. The physical world, that's what you have to pay attention to get your information. Your mind will probably just get in the way. Okay, so the second type of intuition is clairsentience. And clairsentience is very, very close to the root chakra one, right? Because this is the second chakra. And clairsentience is feeling things off of people. So it's emotion, right? It's very tied in, and you could be both first and second chakra, right? But clairsentience is where you tend to pick up people's emotions more than just feeling something off them when you touch them or something. You can actually feel somebody's emotions. They'll give you a call and you'll just be like, oh man, I can feel their grief, or I can feel, whatever it is they're feeling. If somebody's in a great mood, you'll get in a great mood, right? And that is tied into first and also third chakras. Third chakra is solar plexus, empath ability. But this can range from like just being able to pick up people's intent and feelings and vibration, or animals, how they feel, to also being able to feel someone's like physical pain. So you can pick up someone that is having like chronic pain, right, in their back or something. You'll pick that up. That would be clairsentience. You're like, oh my God, like, ow, I feel that in you, right? A lot of times these people can be intuitive healers. They can be psychics that can pretty much tell people what's wrong with them physically. The medical medium is known for that, right? He's very popular. So you have to pay attention, though, if you are clairsentient, to how you are picking up other people's emotions and what is that speaking to you. So you have to learn how to ground with any of these lower chakras. If you are primarily tuned in to one of the lower three chakras, you have to learn how to ground. And grounding, I should actually do a video on that for you guys on YouTube, because there's a lot of techniques for it. One of them, a very simple one that you can do, is just imagining that your body, your feet and legs, everything has roots growing out into the ground. You can do that. That's one way. It's a simple way. There's some other ways. So anyways, that's the first two chakras, and that means that you need to tune in to that kind of thing and pay attention, because that is your language of intuition. You have to know your language of intuition here. So a lot of people that have clairsentience, second chakra is very active. They're called like medical intuitives a lot of times, but not necessarily. You might not be that developed to be a medical intuitive. But anyways, let's take a look at the next one. The next one is the solar plexus, being your primary. And the solar plexus is your third chakra. It's your center of power. And the center of power, think about it. When we connect with another person, we're sharing our power. And that's why when you get cords of attachment with someone, a lot of times it's right there in the solar plexus, because people will connect to your power. They'll connect to your power center. This chakra, if you are very in tune with this chakra and you are highly intuitive empathically, right? You can connect with people, you can kind of share your energy, you're very empathic with others, you know when you sense things when they need something, or they, let's say they just feel a certain way too, right? It's very connected also with that second clairsentience. You kind of feel things off of people. You're very empathic to them, though. You're what we call an empath if you tend to share your third chakra, if you tend to really feel and open that third chakra for other people. So that would mean that you are an empath and you know that. And so that would be your primary language of intuition. And so you would need to know and connect with that third chakra and really start tuning in to, hey, I'm getting this vibration from somebody. They're pulling from me. I need to stop giving so much, right? You have to learn boundaries with this one, and also grounding. So again, these first 3 chakras, you have to be a very grounded person. You have to be well protected. You really should be doing magical rituals that clear and move energy and also invoke more light into your energy body. So empaths, though, they can get taken advantage of very easily, energetically, because you tend to open too much a little bit with other people, that area, that power center. And so because of that, you can read people, right? You tend to be able to predict how somebody feels already. So you'll tell them like, hey, why are you in a bad mood? Or are you okay? Reaching out to people when you haven't even heard from them because they're going through something and you just know it empathically. You connect and you share a little bit too much or too open usually when you're an empath. Your solar plexus is a little too open because you're so used to trying to predict other people's behaviors. And with this one though, you have that intuitive language of empathy. And that intuitive language can really help you to know, like when you're in danger, it can help you to know something about somebody. Even if somebody passed on, like you would know that they passed on, you would get that intuition because energetically you're very open and connected with people you care about or anybody you tune into. Right? So that is your language of intuition, is empathy. That's your main primary language. So the next astral sense, or intuitive sense, is clairaudience. And clairaudience is a tough one. This is the one that people get confused about because they're like, is it my mind or is it coming from something else? Am I actually channeling my spirit guides or an angel or information from my higher self, right? This is when we get confused. So this one has to do with the heart chakra. The heart chakra, the heart center, it picks up intuitive information before the brain does, okay? The Heart Math Institute in California has done years of research on this, and they were featured in a really famous film back in 2010 by Tom Shadyac, but it was called I Am, I believe, and I remember that. It was an awesome documentary. And they featured the Heart Math Institute in it and their studies on the heart and connection with other people. And what they found, from my memory, what they found was that when they would have somebody sit in front of like a computer, I think it was, and they would start to show them, to flash them images that would trigger different emotional responses or nothing, just neutral. They would flash things at them, and before they would flash it, the heart would react to the picture before, okay? So the heart is actually more intuitive than the brain, that's for sure. So if you are somebody that wants to develop clairaudience, or it is your natural language, the way that you can tell the difference is you have to meditate in order to use this one. You absolutely have to clear the mind. And I teach a lot of techniques on how to clear the mind. This is one of my big ones, and I developed it tremendously 10 years ago. Back when I started doing the tantric work and opening the chakras. Once I started opening, and then I opened the heart chakra, and you get rid of the blocks, right? Emotional blocks that kind of constrict that energy. Once you open it up, man, it's like amazing, the clairaudience. Like you will just hear the other side so well. If you want to be a psychic medium, or you want to make sure you're being clear, you gotta work with the heart chakra. You gotta open it up. You gotta make sure it's not blocked. You gotta have stillness. You have to be able to blank out your mind and get into that gap. And the way you do that is through meditative exercises. So if you're not practicing meditative exercises, you're gonna have a really hard time with clairaudience. Now, some people are more natural than others. Like I was saying, some people can just do it automatically, but that's rare. Most people have to develop this one. And if you just open and clear your heart chakra, you can actually tune in to the inner voice and it comes from opening the heart. You can hear spirits on the other side. You can talk to spirit guides. You can channel information from your higher self. That's the key. So the heart is really the heart center and the heart itself, this is such an important area. It's like the center of your body almost, right? It's the chest, and it's where we connect with ourselves, our higher selves, and the way we connect with other people. It's a big connection point. So this one, if you speak this language of clairaudience, you have to make sure you're meditating to hear it correctly. Otherwise, you're probably, your mind's getting in the way, and the mind, it'll block you, right? If you're having instinctual desires or instinctual protective types of thoughts and things, or you want something, if you are attached to the outcome of something, it's going to be really hard for you to listen to your intuition at any level. So what we have to do in this work, what I do in order to get clear readings, and I get very clear readings even on myself, is that I will clear first. I will do a formula of rituals and meditations in order to now be at a neutral point, a balanced point, and a gap so that I can hear clearly. Okay, so this heart chakra is so important for you if you want to hear the other side. Okay, and next after that is really the third eye. So the third eye, if you have a very active pineal gland or third eye, you would be a very visual person. You would be somebody that's probably an artist, or you have very vivid dreams that speak to you. You're very inclined to visual stimuli. You're probably into actual visual art in some way, even if you're not an artist. So someone that is very visual, a lot of times you will get information, your intuition will come through in visual images. And so it usually, if you're not meditating, it will come to you in dreams. Now, if you're not dream journaling, then you might not be getting the messages. You're getting them, it's sending you the messages, your unconscious is, but you're not really getting it, because when you dream journal, this will actually make your dreams more vivid and clear, and you'll get more and more information from them because you won't forget as quickly. Okay, so dream journal, if you are someone that your intuition is very visual and you're just a very visual person, that would be the easiest one for you to tune into. Again, take my psychic superpower quiz if you want to know which one you're most naturally inclined to. But with this one, with the third eye, when you get visual information, right, symbolic information, it can be colors, you could see all kinds of symbols, you could be somebody that meditates and all of a sudden it's like sacred geometry all in your face, right? Or you're seeing colors and stuff, or different things just moving around, movement, anything that is very visual and very easy for you to kind of tune into that visual aspect, that would be your language of intuition. And so you would want to work with that and trust that before you would trust anything else, like clairaudience or, feeling. You would want to pay attention to the visual aspect, and that would be your language of intuition. Develop that by dream journaling again, and open it up by also meditating. And also you can stare at a tarot card, or you can also do what's called Tritaka. And Tritaka, you can stare at a tarot card, or you can stare at a flame, a candle flame, and then as you stare at it, you allow your eyes to become watery from staring at it, and then you close your eyes after you start feeling like that, a lot of water. Close your eyes and then just hold that thought, hold that visual stimuli, and it will help to trigger more of that pineal gland activation for you, more third eye opening. Let's move on to the final intuitive language, and that is claircognizance, the most rare. Now this one I actually finally got to when I was practicing a lot of magic, and all of a sudden my claircognizance was like, wow, like, and this is a tough one to get to, but when it gets to you, you know it. And claircognizance is a knowing, because this is the crown chakra. This is like your highest antenna. Once you get it going, once you're tuned into your claircognizance, and you might be naturally inclined to it, right? This is your language of knowing. It's just a knowing, and it's not a thought. It's not even a real feeling. It's just a knowing. And this one is so hard to describe, because unless you've experienced it, you really won't understand what I'm saying, because it's hard to put this into words. It's just knowing. I mean, I don't know how to say that other than knowing. You'll just all of a sudden like know something. So for instance, I'll just tell you my current boyfriend. All week before I met him, I just kept getting this knowing. Like I met him at my workplace, and I teach at a university, and I was just like, I would drive in and I would just feel him, like, and it wasn't like an emotional feeling at all. It wasn't like a feeling, it was just like a knowing. It was like, okay, where is this person at? Like, why do I know this person all of a sudden? Why am I looking for this person that I don't know? And within a few days, all of a sudden, he walked up behind me, and I knew that it was him, and that, we would be together. It was very strange, and I didn't even see him. And then I just turned around because I knew, and I heard his voice, and it was just a knowing. There was no feeling. It was just a knowing. Once your antenna gets to that point, there are some people that are naturally inclined, like I said, to the crown chakra, to claircognizance in this intuitive language. But most people are like me, where, you have to really get that vibration up. You have to invoke more light and get that antenna going, your aura expanded. And then all of a sudden it just kicks in, and you just know stuff. You just know. And I've had it happen a lot. And that was just one of, my most easy memories of like claircognizance, because it was such a profound thing. But I've had a lot of them. And if you are somebody that is naturally inclined to that, you want to make sure that you are protected, because that means you have a very expanded aura. And you probably are. This is a stronger intuitive psychic sense, right? If this is your language, though, you have to pay attention to this knowing and not thoughts. Okay, this is where everybody gets confused. They don't realize that they're paying too much attention to their mind. If your mind is saying things to you, that's probably just your mind. It's when you know your psychic sense, your intuitive sense, that your astral sense, okay, we can call it whatever we want, but when you are able to know your language of intuition, that is when you can really start paying attention to the correct answers. And it will help to navigate you in life if you start paying attention to it and working with it more. So I have tons of videos on chakra opening and activation, specifically one on the heart. I have them on all of them, but definitely check out my other chakra videos if you are trying to get more intuitive, to tap into your intuition more. Use my rituals that I teach on opening the chakras and activating them, because you can really come into your language in a very full way, and you can develop all those other chakras and those psychic senses as well with the things that I teach you. So thanks so much for watching. And if you want to learn more with me and you want to actually go live with me every week and everything, I actually have a membership, Magical Mystery School, at brandyjoy.com. And I would love to have you in if you are a light worker, if you are somebody that really wants to just evolve spiritually. You would probably fit very well with us if you are somebody that likes my YouTube videos and is also about your spiritual evolution. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.